if wellness getting to the point where your body's going to another direction, would you consider going to another division?
Um, Honestly, no, because I want to stay in wellness. It was really hard for me to transition from bikini to wellness because I didn't believe that my quads could even get that big. So honestly, no, I think that's why I'm gonna keep being a natural athlete because I don't want my upper body to grow so much because with my lats, like I know when I train like this whole off season, I think I wasn't as focused on my back as much as I was with my shoulders and my quads because my back is so dominant that I know I shouldn't be training it as much. I still train it, just I don't have that high intensity for it because I'm not trying to build muscle for my back. So I think it's just placed on the factors of how you're training as well too. Like if you're training upper body super crazy, obviously I might have to go into the figure division. But if I get to that point, I might not even do bodybuilding anymore. Who knows? I definitely want to stay wellness. I'm a wellness girly. We're here to stay for wellness forever.
Yeah, well, like I said, everybody finds a division that works for them, especially if they look at their body types. I've seen some ladies in physique that should be doing is bodybuilding. I've seen some ladies in
Yeah.
figure should be doing physique. I even seen bikini competitors who look like they should be in figure, and and some wellness competitors who could. At one point, there's some ladies who have transitioned between both divisions, either figure or physique. But
Yeah.
it's about your training regimen, where you want to go, or also how comfortable you feel about putting as much muscle compared to other divisions.
Exactly.
Yeah, here's my
Because you got to
man K.
eat to put on muscle.
Yeah, you got to. It's like you have to
Yeah.
feed the machine every day. Here's my man KL, the one coming through. Shout out to KL. He says, "Hey, what's up? What's up, brother?" And also he says, "Hi, Jamie." He says hi, and also
Hello.
he says to me, he says, "Got your Carl Winslow." So yeah, and he's Urkel. Did I do that? So, so quit hating, brother. I had to look clean because, like I said, it's getting warm now. I had to shave the cowl and the beard. I mean, you have to, So now, what was that like when they announced that you were now in OCB Pro?
Well, I missed the question. You completely cut out right
Well,
there.
I was just talking with them,
Oh,
but the question is like, what was it like? It's your first time as an OCB Pro.
um, it's okay. Like I forget that I'm a pro sometimes. I think because I know how to take off different caps. When I'm with my athlete, like I have my coaching cap on. So me being a pro, it's not even in my head. Like I'm just a coach right there. When I'm with my coach, like I have my athlete's cap on, and I'm like, hey, what can I learn from you? What do I need to know for my body? Being wellness and especially switching from my first coach to the second coach as well too. So really it's just when I switch on my different hats, is that's who I am at that moment. So that's why I on my Instagram name you notice it's Jamie. It's not coaching with Jamie or fitness with Jamie or training with Jamie, something like that, because I can put on so many caps. Like I can change that identity where really I am who I am and this is me.
Mhm. So you're versatile. You can switch from whatever we wanted to. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I know a lot of competitors they like to put it when, especially when you turn pro in a certain division like OCB or IFB, they like to put that tag on because that's what certifies you and bonds
Mm-hmm.
you as a pro in your division.
But that
We got
doesn't
here.
make who I am, Like I don't go off by that title, like, oh, I'm a pro, so I'm good at this. Like, no, like I got my pro card on my first OCB debut show. Like I still have so much learning to do, so I don't consider myself that. Now, if I do become an IFBB pro, I'm changing that name to IFBB pro. Like I deserve it.
Yeah, that's the thing is you put in the time, put in the work in the sport, and you deserve the accolades out of it. Here we got a comment from my man. Shout out to my man Jeremy, the Art of Female Muscle podcast. Says, what is your typical training split? So, what's training like you during the week?
I do legs every day, Monday to Friday.
I, I just,
But trust me, I do. I It's like full body split every day. So like my Monday, I do like shoulders and what is it? Quads. Tuesday, I do posterior chain. So I do like all full back with hamstring as well too. So that includes a little bit of legs. And then Wednesday, I go back to more shoulder dominant day and then glutes as well with Wednesday. Thursday's back and quads, and then Friday is hamstring, glutes, and more shoulders.
yeah,
Mhm.
especially as a wellness competitor, the leg day is very important. But the average
Yes.
bodybuilder does not like leg day. Next to cardio is the most hated. exercise because you remember Chappelle's show was the episode where Charlie Murphy meets Rick James and they go back to Eddie's house and Rick is jumping like F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch, and then
I
beating his
hate it.
legs.
Yeah.
That's leg day for a bodybuilder. I have had a few ladies tell me, oh, they love leg day. I looked at them and said, you gotta be a mutant. Who loves
Yeah,
leg day?
if you love leg day, you are not training legs hard enough. That's me saying that as a coach.
Yeah, but like I think at least one. I remember interviewing a lady. She's an IFB pro physique competitor. She's from Bulgaria. She loves Bulgarian split squats.
Oh my, did she create them? She's from Bulgaria.
Yeah, yeah. She told me a story how her and a lady who was a wellness competitor, they were both doing it together. She was from Puerto Rico. She's from Bulgaria. It was it's crazy. But yeah, I think everybody have those exercises they love. What's the one that you like the least? They say, damn, why I got to do this?
Ooh, the least triceps and biceps. I hate training tricep and biceps.
Yeah. That's the thing is, athlete, you have to work on everything
Mm-hmm.
and make, you don't have to do as much compared to the other division, but just enough where you have a good presentation, especially when the
Yeah.
judges see you. We have here from a man, KL, shout out to him. He says, I don't know if you remember, Jamie, but we talked before. Since you last talked, I attended 2 OCB shows.
I do remember. Yes, I do.
Oh, that's really good.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I call him. He's the king of OCB because he lives up in New York. It's a lot easier for him to, go that way. Me, it's harder for me. I was planning to go to a show this year, but I got a car in the shop. I'm trying to get another car. I say,
No, that's very cool. I did an interview with him, told him all about the OCB organization. So it's cool that he got to check out 2 shows.
that's cool. Also, this is from a man. Shout out to my man Jeremy again. He says, after the show, what's your favorite meal to have? You stole my line. You son of a. Okay, all right. He stole my note.
Honestly, I just love food. Like, I don't really think about what I want to have to eat after, but when I do think, like right now, like he brought up the question, I was like, ooh, burgers, sushi, Korean barbecue, pho, all this food in front of me. But honestly, it's just I don't care what I have. Just give me something else besides chicken and rice. Like give me a nice restaurant meal.
I remember one day I was out, I was doing some little shopping, and you know what? I went to this Mexican restaurant, and I hadn't been there in a long time because I don't go out too much like I used to. It was nice. I had, I think, was some steak fajitas with peppers and onions and cheese and some of that rice and the little salad gave which and I enjoyed myself. I as a fat man, I love food. But food can be both a tool and a weapon for a bodybuilder and spot in the
Hmm.
process. As you said again, you're not a big. You get tired of chicken and rice. But it's part of your process as you grow and you develop.
You actually enjoy it. I enjoy chicken and rice now. Like I'm like, oh, it's whatever. It's easy. It's simple. It gets me through the day. I don't have to think about what I want to cook.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody preps like different ways, the things that help them their process. And yeah, I know. I cook every now and then. Sometimes I like to have something different. Sometimes I do eat a lot of chicken. Chicken. I think I should be growing feathers, but it's important part about when you're trying to find balance. Like sometimes, like I was out, I got some chicken wings and I ate some of those, and then I'm probably gonna cook a little, steamed vegetables and stuff like that. But it's good to find that balance. Here's my
Yeah.
man, my man Jeremy says, who are some of the OCB and IFB wellness pros that you look for inspiration?
Ooh, for OCB, I don't think I have anybody in OCB that I look up to that are pros, but for IFBP, um, Eduarda, I got to meet her at Wings of Strength, actually backstage. Sweetest Brazilian woman ever. Doesn't know a single word of English, but she is so sweet. Like I had this long conversation with her, and then she just smiled and nodded. And then the next thing I realized, I was like, she doesn't even know a word I was saying. She just kept smiling, nodding, and was just like, oh, like that's cool. And but she was super nice, very sweet, and I got to see her perform at Wings of Strength. So she's somebody that I really look up to. Just she was like the underdog that everybody's like, ooh, she could potentially make it, and she made it to Olympia, being top 3 as well too. And just her sportsmanship around the girls as well too. Like I don't know if you saw Francielli reaction when she saw that she didn't win first place when Issa took the crown.
Oh,
But Eduarda, just her sportsmanship, and she walked over, she lifted Issa up, and she hugged Franciele. Like just her whole sportsmanship. That's what I admire most about this sport is that it's not you against the other competitor. It's you versus you. You're on stage against the other competitor for the fun of it. It's not really you against them though at the end of the day.
Yeah, like you got to take the sport as it is. It's both also like with ladies that tell me, I talk to them say one thing is that it's expensive to be a female bodybuilder compared to the men who can walk away with a big chunk of money, and y'all ladies are just struggling. But ladies tell me, say, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I enjoy doing. I enjoy competing. I know it costs me money to go to the shows or pay my entry fees and this and that, but they enjoy this sport. This sport is a niche sport. And I remember it used to be on television, but you don't see it much anymore. And
No.
you have to really find the opportunities for yourself. You're lucky enough to be a sponsored athlete because it does save the cost of some things. Some don't have that luck. So,
Yeah.
as a woman in this sport, what do you feel would help? To especially for an athlete to maybe see themselves as a bodybuilder, to take the sport seriously as they should.
Um, this is actually something that I tell my athletes is that when they try bodybuilding, they expect to place, expect to win, get that pro card the first time as well too. Usually what I say is try aim for the pro physique, don't aim for the card, because if you're aiming for the card you're always gonna have the mentality that if you step on stage and if you don't place you're gonna be disappointed with yourself. But if you're aiming for the physique you're always gonna be able to better your physique each time that you step on stage. So when you aim for that physique and then you know, okay, this is what I could do better next time, then that's the win right there. Because for me, like I already told my clients, I haven't even stepped on the NPC stage yet, and I already told them that I don't know what I'm gonna place, and to be honest, I don't care what I'm going to place on that NPC stage. Do I want to win and take home that crown? Yeah, it's mine. I'm working for it. But whatever I place, I don't care because I beat my last look already. I've already won. So to me, I won. Stepping on that stage, that's the real win right there because not a lot of people will take the prep and will be able to step on stage. A lot of people will give up at that 3 week mark. They will give up at that 4 week mark where they don't want to step on stage anymore, or they'll fuck up and binge eat at that 4 3 week mark when it gets really hard, still step on stage and then feel disappointed in themselves because they fucked up and they're like, oh, I could have done better.
Hmm.
So you have to
Yeah.
see it as I'm not stepping on stage to let the judges judge me on how I look. This is the work that I put in, and whatever I place, that is what I deserve. There's some people that's going to show up better looking than you.
Yeah. The quote, the great Ronnie Coleman, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, no one lifts a heavy ass weight. And
Mm-hmm.
it takes work. If you're not consistent, if you don't follow the diet, if you don't, you know, follow the discipline that is put in front of you as a competitor, it can be easy distracted. Most people in the world wouldn't maybe want to do this because
Oh
there's so many
yeah.
sacrifices you got to make. And especially it's again for women, it's a lot tougher because the ideology of what you're from a Vietnamese background, which is very traditional. The idea of seeing women muscle is something that's just like you rest your family. What was their thoughts when you started getting into it?
They didn't understand it at first, and they were always like trying to feed me. But the funny thing is that so a few before I started my whole fitness journey, I was actually a lot bigger. I weighed about 175 pounds. And so they saw me being 100 pounds in high school and then instantly gaining that freshman 15 weight gain from 100 pounds to 175 and then dropping back down to like 117 for stage weight. And they were just in shock that I was able to change my body drastically so many times too, because they just saw me go through my off season and now my body changed again within the matter of like 4 months. And they're like, what is going on? And I was like, it's bodybuilding, it's part of it. You gotta grow, and in order to grow you gotta get a little fluffy, and then to see the muscle you gotta shred down a little bit. And so they have a little bit more of an understanding of it now. They don't want me to have that big of a muscle, but it's funny when I'm just like, look at my muscle, and then they're just like, that's so gross, but then they accept it and they're like, it's cool though, like it's cool that her body's able to change like that. And they're still trying to understand, like, during my off season they don't say that it's an off season, they're like, oh, she's fat. And then I was just like, no, I'm not fat, this is just me putting on muscles right now. So it's just them trying to understand.
Yes, it is tough, especially you know changing the aspects of what considered a woman's feminine, to build muscle, the work you put into it. I've talked to ladies that say sometimes their family would never understand it. Your friends sometimes change because there's something different you get into.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was like, well, I was 135 pounds when I was in high school. No. I was bigger than that in high school. I think I was already 200 in high school. I put on the freshman 200 by the time I got to high school, but it happens, especially
It
with life
happens to
history.
the best of us.
Yeah, here it's for a man. Shout out to my man. KL says not much superstars in the OCB like that be that stand out like that. I guess the athletes in OCB have to be their own superstars. So yeah, that's true.
They do. Yeah.
Also, from my man, the art of female muscle. My man Art. He says, "What are your thoughts on the new fit model divisions in the IFB NPC? What impact, if any, do you think that will have on the wellness division?" As you know, I'm not a fan of fit model division.
You're
It
not?
is no, I call it, where I hear from some people, it's see, this is how I say it. I've been a fan of bodybuilding, especially for women bodybuilding for a long time. And I feel like it's the divisions that could end up pushing out those divisions like women bodybuilding or physique. And also it's going to eventually end up looking like what bikini is now. They can say that, oh, we don't want these, this, and that, but here's the thing about especially the bodybuilding world. The community can be very influential and infectious. And you see these girls who's coming in from fit models because it's just how one lady said it's a basic bitch division. You don't have to do much, just train
Yeah.
whatever. But after a while, they don't do crossovers in the EPC because you just got to do that your division right there. But promoters like to make money. If you have maybe 100 fit model girls and they say they want the bikini, hey, that's another division they're gonna pay. That's gonna end up after a while. It's gonna end up that way. It's just that when you bring, I know you want to bring in more people's attention, but you're gonna bring in another division that's gonna end up being the same thing. Instead of putting the guidelines, what was based on those divisions, like the girls in the bikini don't have to need cap round shoulders and don't need definition of glutes. The girls in figure don't need to be as big as girls in physique, and the women in physique don't need as big as women's bodybuilding. It's just the thing is, you're bringing in something that's going to end up becoming like the vision that they want to say throwback, like what men's classic, even men classic guys. You
Yeah.
saw Chris Bumstead, he just did a men's bodybuilding show a while back.
Well, if you think about it, it's the business side of it. Like for not only the organization, but for coaches as well too. Like it gives people an opportunity to see if they can step on stage or not. And I believe with NPC, if you are in fit model, you cannot cross over to the bikini division or any other division aspects of that. So I don't think it will affect wellness at all because you've seen the fit models, girls. Like, come on. Um, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. I think it's really cool that they offer fit model because there's so many girls that are, I guess you could say anorexic, super tiny, doesn't understand the eating, how to eat to build their muscle yet, and they're super tiny. So if you're telling them, oh, in order for you to step on stage, you need to put on some muscle density in order to be a bikini girl. Like that's gonna discourage them because they're gonna feel like, oh, I don't have that time to put on that muscle density. So I feel like with them having that fit model division, it gives them a chance to be like, let me get my feet wet to see if I'm good for the stage. And if I love it and I love to lift heavy, then maybe I can go into the bikini division and then maybe go up to wellness, figure, whatever it is. But if it's somebody who, remember, girls, they start their fitness journey at like the buddy cardio phase, and then they go into the light lifting phase, and then they start training hard. Like we go through these phases as women. So it gives people that opportunity to see if they want to step on stage or not without carrying that muscle density that everybody's looking for. So
Yeah,
I see it's a win-win for everybody.
yeah. I don't say the business part of it. Me as a fan, I'm like this hot put,
The
but
fans don't like it. Yeah, fans are
yeah,
just
I'm
like,
like
what is
like
this?
like old school wrestling. I shit hot put. I feel like, especially like I said again, I feel like it might be pushing out women's bodybuilding because I'm a fan of women's bodybuilding. As I miss my
Yeah.
crime again, I'm muscle very small. Y'all ladies are just so beautiful with y'all muscles. But I do understand that. I do respect. I'm not saying I'm young. I'm not gonna be a fan of it. Here we got my man. Panther 7, shout out to him. He says, hello, everyone. Hey, brother George and beautiful Jamie. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday. Yeah, brother, I appreciate that. We appreciate that. So, what would you want for yourself as a bodybuilder in your future?
Um, honestly, I just want to be happy. I want to do this sport as long as I can, as long as it's making me happy and it's aligned with my goals. The minute that I feel like I'm unhappy about it or that it's not aligning with what I want in life, then that's when I'll stop. But for now, I just started like 2 years ago. I'm still having fun with bodybuilding. Like I said, I'm coming for that crown. I might be coming for that pro card too. I don't know yet.
Yeah, yeah. It's a thing about this. It's a process. It takes
Mm-hmm.
time to grow, And I've often like said it's just this is not like uh, it's like a marathon than a race. You
Exactly.
want to see, you want to have longevity in it, and also like I said, you're still young. Like my man Jerome says, you're still wet behind the ears and breath smell like Similac. You know, you know.
Exactly.
But you know what? Take your time. Don't rush it.
Oh yeah, I
Work on
got a
your
lot of
things.
patience.
Yeah, it's good to have patience. So, what's the show you're planning on doing for your NPC debut?
I will be in Atlanta at Sid Gillian's Peach Classic show doing my NPC debut there.
Cool, Sid Gillen show. I mean, it's a popular show. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
also since you're a national competitor, you know that the Pittsburgh Pro they are doing a natural
They are.
pro qualifier because it's become a big a festival trying to compete with the Arnold Classic almost.
Yeah.
I'm kind of me. I was hoping that they would add women's bodybuilding this year, but I'm just
If there's
But
enough signups, I think they will.
yeah, it got to be one thing. I know the man's not a fan of division as much.
Yeah.
As I often quote, I've seen like Arnold done it, everybody else done it. As for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul told Bruce Wayne, "In order to take the enemy, walk quiet behind him and stab him in the heart." So that's how I feel about.